Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing?
Hello.
Here, Transgurus again. Right now, we are just two, but I'm sure that some other people will join us along the way. Um, Thank you for coming and thank you for visiting us again. I'm trying to see who's there. Just a second, and I would like to, welcome everybody. Um, I think today we've got a very, very, very special theme that we'd like to talk about. It's about being a transgender and the evolution of the spirit. Is that correct, Jimmy?
That sounds about right. Yeah. Because
We,
I think it's all tied together. And I listen to in the mornings when I get ready, hair and makeup and all, it takes 20 minutes or so for me to get ready. And that's the perfect opportunity to listen to self-improvement videos of all flavors. And the one I listened to the other day had to do with spiritual awakening and what prompts that. So the speaker was talking about, if someone has a near-death experience or a car crash, or there's a life-altering event where you come out the other side with a renewed spirit. And I'm thinking, well, shit. Recognizing that I'm a transgender person and then taking action to cultivate every part of my being, I think that at the same time wakes up part of our soul. And the spiritual growth that I have experienced in the last 3 or 4 years has just been phenomenal. It's been liberating. And by harnessing every part of ourselves, it awakens the soul, it awakens the spirit. And then I think through this heightened level of spirituality, we see things differently, we think differently. Our priorities change, and I look at my own life. I'm no longer interested in material objects. I'm more interested in humans and the human spirit and how to help people and to just try to be what I call a human lighthouse in a sometimes sea of darkness. So I think we can, between the folks here that show up, we'll be able to expand on this topic.
Yeah, absolutely. I just got a little message from Bonnie. She's trying to join us, but she's got some issues with the computer. It's all these technical issues. Well, anyway, we are both here. Now, I do believe that, you're absolutely right, Jimmy. It is so incredible. And it is, when you become, well, that you are a transgender person. I mean, that's my experience. Bonnie's here too. I always knew that I was a transgender person. But knowing that you are transgender and taking the step to actually change yourself and becoming what you really want to be. Hi, Bonnie. It's a very, very, very deep change. And everybody is afraid of change. And it took me a while until I changed. I finally did. And I tell you, I am so freaking happy. The world opened in a completely different way. But yeah, it's the opening of the world is not something which is just physical. It is, it's in a metaphysical area. It's in a transcendental area which brings everything together. I mean, we should know one thing, we as people are masters of what we do. We create our own future. We are in charge. And it is not the material which is in charge, it is there which is in charge and makes everything grow up. It starts always with a dream that becomes reality. Anyway,
Excellent.
Bonnie, welcome. We're talking
Hi,
about
Bonnie.
Well,
the transgender experience and metaphysical, the how we feel. I don't know if you've got anything to do. David Anthony is telling, hi, Bonnie.
hi.
See, so a lot of it has to do this. There's in not only recognizing that we're transgender and taking action to cultivate these things. There's many disciplines, many components, and as we evolve, as in my case, as I evolve as the image of my spirit becomes more alive. And there's the whole, Bonnie, what we're kind of talking about is that video I shared with you the other day, and you responded earlier today. So that's kind of the topic where being transgender and life-changing events, how that cultivates spiritual awakening. And kind of like, as I mentioned earlier, in my case, recognizing that I am a transgender human, and then taking action to cultivate this and promote myself in the image of my own spirit. It's liberating, and this sense of liberation spills out into all aspects of our life. That sense of self-empowerment, the sense of self-mastery, the sense of self-ownership. All these things are only capable by achieving our true self, whatever that is for whoever. For a transgender person, in my case, what you see is the real deal. And for someone else, it just may be, everyone has their own recipe to achieve self-mastery. And a lot of it is trial and error. You try something, or I was talking to someone in the gym last night, and they were saying you just keep trying stuff until you find the sweet spot. And I know in my life, I tried many things to try to find the sweet spot, and it took some time, but here I am. So that's kind of what I thought we would talk about for a little bit, and maybe we'll get some questions for folks out there in the internet world.
I've got Ashton. Ashton is saying, I'm still taking the steps and it's taking longer than it should. But I love being myself, being trans male. It's who I am. And, I just have to tell you, Ashton, there's no timeline. You are the timeline. You create your timeline. You create what you want to do. It's your timeline. It's never too late or too early. It's the way you think is correct and the way you feel is correct. Hey, let's be honest, taking the step to be fully transgender and live fully on your real self is not an easy option. And it is not an automatic option. It is a very difficult choice. So take your time with your timeline.
I was going to just add that being in a box with a timeline, who set the timeline? Is that something that society said you should be transitioned by this timeline? Or is that a timeline that you've set on yourself? And sometimes by setting a timeline on yourself, you may not achieve it, but you'll get a lot closer to where you want to be if you set a timeline. Just like we always talk about, write it down, read it, focus on it. Just like Shannon, that thing, I'm going to post that thing you did. It was, I think, 11 different things in life. Whether you're trans or not, there's no reason in life for it to be anything but good. And everything that comes at you is all about how you process it. And you are the one, don't ever give your pen for somebody else to write it. Write your own journey, your own script at your own pace. And if you don't achieve something as quick as you want, that happens. And set another one and work towards it and do it in a way where you feel positive and you feel good because you know it's about growth. It's about you and you being more. And sometimes when it gets really hard is when we grow. So sometimes if you look at it like life sucks right now, you can look at it and say, damn, I bet I'm really growing and I'm going to get through this and I'm going to get to the next step. And when I do, it's all going to be worth it. And that, honest and truthfully, is it in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome, Bonnie. And one thing I want to expand a little bit more on what Bonnie was talking about. The younger folks in today's world, I think, have, for maybe just as a result of the society we live in, have less patience. You know, you see something on Amazon, it's delivered to your house the next day, you know, instant credit, you know, instant this, instant that, instant, everything, microwave oven, fast food, everything is available within 5 minutes. But there's a certain gestation period. No matter how you look at it, we all spend about 9 months in the womb. You can't microwave a baby or anything else. It takes so long for a loaf of bread to friggin' rise. And so there's just certain things that have a certain gestation period or incubation period that you just can't rush. And that's where patience comes in. And that's where you have to kind of step back and think, okay, well, I have a lifetime to live my life. So every step, every moment is a journey towards a certain end. And so you spend all this time, planning this trip to climb to the top of a mountain somewhere. You spend weeks planning this trip, and it takes a week to get to the top of the mountain. So all this planning and then travel, and then you climb this mountain and deal with all the snow and the rain and the storm and the lions and tigers and the spiders. And oh my God, you finally make it to the top of this mountain. You stand there for a minute, you look around, you look at the other person in the eye, and then you climb back down again. So it's about the journey. It's about the journey. And some things just can't be rushed. And I know in my evolution, Dr. Clark, my therapist many years ago, she asked me, like, Jimmy, what's your timeline? I said, Dr. Clark, I don't have a timeline. I'm just going to let my life unfold as it may, keeping an intent, a vision of myself in my subconscious to act as my internal guide. And so here, you know, five, 6 years later, here I am. So that was my little 3 cents worth.
Thank you. I don't know if you're experiencing some technical issues on Facebook. I've no idea why, but apparently there was some interruptions. But first, Catherine, hi to New Zealand. She says an hello from New Zealand. It's so nice that we are all present all over the world, so on the other side of the planet, and it's nice to see you here.
Hi, David.
So, and yeah, and we've got apparently many. I am sorry if there is some kind of technical issues. They are not here. I think the technical issues are with Facebook. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but okay. Yeah, timelines are something for businesses. And sometimes they're not very well respected either. But feelings don't have timelines. I don't think so.
But a timeline sometimes is okay to set as a goal to try to achieve something, and you may achieve it sooner and it may take you longer, but it's just a guide. It's not scripted. And to get hung up on perhaps I didn't make it in the time that I thought, that's just noise. That's distractions from you achieving what you're out to achieve, and you put everything in balance and you set out each day to have a good day. And if you hit some bumps along the road, you get through it. And if you have the ultimate goal, and like that series that Shannon put up, where like all the different areas, it's not one area in your life, it's all the different areas of your life. In order for you truly to be in a good place, you have to master somewhat all of them and be aware that all of them exist, because you could pretend that you're here, but life is all not right. You got to, your whole life should be in harmony. Your body is the sample, is the of your soul. It's a temple of your soul. And what I'm just trying to explain is that how we take care of our body is how things will manifest, but our mind is like our soul, that what our mind dwells upon, and our self-talk and all the things that go on in our mind is what will manifest throughout our bodies. And if your mind is not focused, or your mind is somewhere else, and let me tell you, if you're focusing on transitioning and passing and looking, there's nothing better for your mind to be on. And when you get there, you'll get there. But if your mind's on, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, and you put all these limitations on yourself, your life will have all these limits. But if you can see it, it will manifest. Sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it takes quicker. You don't really know, but bottom line is enjoy the journey.
Awesome,
Bonnie,
Bonnie.
that is absolutely correct. Go ahead, Jimmy.
So a little bit of background behind what Bonnie's saying. So a lot of times when we're creatures of the universe. I consider myself a child of the divine universe. So I am part of something far greater than myself. I am just one human in a sea of humans, where our consciousness are all connected, called the collective consciousness. So I have a vision for myself, and I feel that I'm ready to do this, but the infinite wisdom of the universe isn't allowing for this to happen just yet, because maybe I haven't achieved a sense of maturity, a sense of responsibility, a sense of you're just not ready. You know, you can't teach, no matter how hard you try, you can't teach a second grader algebra. It just ain't going to happen. And so the universe, the divine universe, is working behind the scenes to arrange a background for all these things to manifest, not in our timeline, but in the timeline of the infinite wisdom of the universe. So I guess how a better way to explain it is, I bought an aircraft maybe 8 years ago. And if I would have bought this aircraft any time prior than I didn't have the maturity or the piloting skills necessary to safely fly this aircraft. And I wanted this aircraft maybe 25 years ago. And I didn't get it till the time was right. And that's a lesson that I learned. And even in my own evolution as a transgender person, it takes a lot of maturity, a lot of responsibility, and a lot of it takes a lot to be a transhuman in today's world. And if any of these things would have happened prior to when they did, I wouldn't have had the management skills, the maturity, the responsibility necessary to manage my own life. And these are some of the things that I have learned. So be patient, be patient, be patient.
But you
Love
know,
yourself.
if everybody's different, and everybody time to change and time to transition is different too. We all go through our different journeys, and we all make our different learnings. Thank God we are different, because it's the base of everything, which is great. In my case, like Jimmy or Shannon, I got, I'm a late bloomer, and I transitioned late. Bonnie is the other way around. She transitioned very early and or much earlier. And I mean, she had a very good experiences too, because I think she worked really hard to get what she had. And she made absolutely incredible things. I mean, and I'm really proud of her.
Well, thank you.
You probably say something more about yourself and
Well, I
your
can say this.
experience.
When I transitioned, actually, I started, a friend was hearing that song by the Police, Roxanne. I says, Google when that came out, because I went on hormones 6 months before that. And that was in 1979. So I was probably either at the end of 78 or the beginning of 79. I was on hormones already. But what I'm saying is nobody would give me a job when I transitioned. So I was forced to go out and start my own business. And I picked up used appliances off the side of the road and fixed them. And then I sold my GTO and I rented a place and I started my own business, but I was forced because I mean, I applied everywhere for, even when I started my own business, I was still applying. But after about 2 years of applying, my business started to become extremely where I could afford it and live. I no longer was looking for a job. But if I hadn't went through nobody giving me a job, I would have never reached the levels that I reached in life financially, because I would have just had a job. And not that there's anything wrong with a job, but what I'm saying is back then, something that may have been frustrating, you look back on it later on in years, and I'm so thankful that nobody ever gave me a job. But it's the same thing. You're going through things now. It's about perspective. Something that might seem like it's not what you want, but down the road, the perspective on it may change, and you go, wow, thank you, universe, for sending that my way.
But you know, Bonnie, you just said something which is very important. Thank you, universe. You know, if you put positive thoughts, if you put positive growth, you get positive back. And
I
thank you.
acknowledge, and send the universe love a half a dozen times a day.
I think the universe is pretty cool, because somehow we always get what we're supposed to get. And don't despair, don't become crazy. You know, be positive, grow, make the world feel great for you, because the world is there for you too. And you are the center of your world, So, yeah. And I have to tell you too, that since I've transitioned, things are changing a lot for me too. And, on a very positive way too. So I think the universe is, you have bad days, you have good days like everybody else, but what's important is where we're going and how we're doing it and how we are feeling about it, positiveness. Leave every single day as the last day, because the past is gone and the future is still not here. So is that correct?
Those are beautiful words. And I think if people in general could grasp the concept or understand the principle that we have the ability to manifest our own reality, if people knew the true power of the human being, the human spirit, it's scared the living shit out of everybody. That's what I mean. To be able to harness the full available horsepower of a human being, that's unlimited energy, unlimited potential, and that's an unlimited amount of horsepower. So it requires certain level of management skills to be able to not only harness, but then incorporate these abilities into our everyday life. Yep. And once you kind of get a taste of the capabilities of a human, you look at the mechanics underneath the car and the jack breaks and the car falls on the guy, and then the mom walking by picks the car up and the kid gets from underneath the car. There are adrenaline, there's other chemicals in our body or the spirit. You connect to the Akashic records, which is kind of like a phrase to kind of categorize all the thoughts that have ever been thought, have been thought, or going to be thought. And there's just tremendous energy, there's tremendous wisdom out there in the universe. The conversations that we have with ourselves, our self-talk, isn't private. The universe is listening. Our thoughts create an energy, that create a vibration that kind of seep out into the ethers and become part of all things. And so that it is the vibration, the frequency of our thoughts that mix with the other vibrations and thoughts in the collective consciousness that help mold reality. Future events aren't just random. They're a result of tremendous thought. And I just want to share something with you all right now. I'm in Fort Lauderdale, and I do every one of these podcasts that we do that are like on the Zoom, I do from my car. So I happen to be sitting at a public parking on Fort Lauderdale Beach in Florida in the United States, and the sun's setting, and there's a cruise ship anchored off the shoreline here. The coconut palms are blowing in the wind. There's people jogging by, rollerbladers, roller skaters, people on the beach. There's people picnicking. I just wanted to share that with you, that it's just a beautiful beach day here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And then also too, I kind of purposely come here to be in an environment like this where the salt, the ocean breeze, the palm trees blowing in the wind, the sunset, the ocean waves, all this is cognitively stimulating.
Absolutely.
Along with the Red Bull I'm drinking.
Okay, any more themes that we already have our half an hour now?
Were there any questions? Were there any questions, Bonnie or Ella?
No, there is not too many questions today. David just told that there was some technical, but he will come back. There was some technical issue somewhere before. There was a conversation between two New Zealanders which were watching us and asking what's going on, but okay, it was quite interesting.
And their boss was watching.
Your boss watching you. Yeah, anyway, it was quite interesting. And apart from that, everything is cool. And we'll come next week again. It was, as usual, a pleasure to have you guys. And please send any kind of information that you want to hear from us. We really would like to, if you've got any questions, anything, just send it to us. And we are really happy to be with you guys, okay? Any, Jimmy, last word?
Life is a mirror. Life is a mirror. What we project, we get back. I'll just leave with that. Life is a mirror. What we project, we get back.
And Bonnie?
Okay, I'm going to add on that. I'm okay, you're okay. And if I'm okay with myself, then you're going to be more okay with me because I feel good about myself. So the energies that I'm putting out is the energies that people will receive, even if it's on a subconscious level. And that's why I say visualization is so important. You should visualize a half a dozen times a day what you want, how you want it, how you want the day to go, everything, whether you're going in the grocery store that you'll find everything with ease, or whether today at work you're going to be having a fantastic day. We are the driver of the helms of our boat. So why not captain it where we want it to go and choose, and don't give our power to other people. And when somebody else is different, instead of letting them get under your skin, It's your choice. You don't have to. You can just send them love and give off positive energy. And let me tell you, things will change because what you put out, life is a mirror. I'm done.
I'm going to finish with some music. And the music has "Don't Stop Believing." Okay? Because
let's hear it.
is your life.
Where's it at?
Huh?
Where's the music? We're ready to rock and roll.
Don't stop believing. You know the music.
Oh, I thought you were going to play a song. Get me all worked up.
Okay, everybody. You have a great weekend. Have a great week. See you on Thursday next week. And enjoy. Love you all.
Bye, bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. How are you doing, Bonnie?
I'm doing good.